All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and begin. Thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. This is the third of our planned 8 shadow panels on various programs offered at Sequoia High School. Today, we're going to be talking about visual and performing arts. That's a wide field that covers a whole bunch of different things, so we'll talk to you a little bit about the details of some of those. My name is Corey Uhalt. I am our Director of Student Activities here at Sequoia High School. I run our leadership program, and I also oversee the shadowing that you're going to find out a little bit about VPA stuff today. I'm joined by a couple of students who are involved in those visual performing arts. You'll hear from them in just a moment. I'm also joined by Miss Woodman, who is our band director. So she's been courteous enough to give us the time to join us as well. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to the first right away. Hold on one moment. Let's press that. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pass it off. And our first speaker is going to be Kira Schechter, who's going to talk to us a little bit about our first session. Just, one quick thing. We're going to get through a lot of this information. And if you do have questions throughout the presentation, you can add them to the chat. We'll also have a structured question and answer session at the end of the presentation. So that's kind of the way that we're set up here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pass it along to Kira. Kira, go ahead and take it away with visual arts.
Hi, I'm Kira, and a few of our visual arts classes at Sequoia include Art 1, which is a beginning class that's open to everyone, and it focuses just on a bunch of different aspects of art. And then Ceramics 1 and 2. Ceramics 1 is hand building methods, and Ceramics 2 is a wheel-based course. And then Drawing and Painting 1 is also a beginning class, and it just focuses on basic drawing and painting techniques, and it's also open to everyone.
I'm going to talk about the next 3 classes. So we have Drawing and Painting 2, which is a more advanced course to build upon the skills that were learned in Drawing and Painting 1. And then we have IB Year 1, and we also have IB Year 2. So IB Year 1 kind of focuses on building artistic skills as well as aesthetic awareness, and the areas of focus are mainly student-directed, and the instructor serves as a facilitator to student growth. And then to participate in IB Art, you do have to have a prereq of Draw, Paint, or Art 1. And then we also have Digital Photography Years 1 and Year 2. Year 1 is mainly focused on beginner, and then Year 2 is the more advanced class. Students will learn like the basics of photography techniques, and they will learn how to create a digital portfolio.
Excellent, thank you. That's a little bit about just some of the visual arts offerings here at Sequoia. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about the theater program. And which of my student speakers is talking about theater?
Hi, it's me. I'm Lucy.
Okay, this is Lucy. Lucy's going to talk to you a little bit about what goes on with theater here at Sequoia.
Okay, so the drama program puts on 4 large-scale performances each year. So Stagecraft is a course that allows students to grow within their acting skills as well as skills behind like stage check and design. Students can enroll in Stagecraft for a whole school year, or they can just get credit for specific productions that they are a part of. There's also an opportunity for students to write their own performance and self-direct it. Last year, in the spring, they put on a Zoom performance. And then just a little note, the drama program doesn't really know what they're going to do this upcoming year.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of what we talk about during these presentations is going to be to provide information about a typical experience in these programs at Sequoia, as that's where we hope to be again next year. Obviously, there are lots of caveats. We are happy to discuss kind of our COVID plans and our alternate productions that are going on. If you're interested in knowing more about that, we can definitely get into that during the Q&A portion. We'll move on from theater, and the next thing that I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about is choir. And who's taking the choir slide?
I also did that.
No, Lucy.
Okay, so choir 1 and 2 is open to all students who want to do it. This course is designed to give students an opportunity to gain skills in vocal development, breath control, tone production, diction, and musical literacy. Students study songs from many historical periods and different cultures. And students also just perform at concerts and community events.
Perfect. Oh, we didn't have our animations built in here. Sorry about that, but it's all up there at once. And we're going to talk about band. We have an excellent band program. I believe, Andrew, are you taking this one?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew. I'm a senior. I've been playing trombone in advanced band since my freshman year. And to give you a little intro to band, there's something like 100 students divided into 2 classes of about 40 to 50 students each. We have an intermediate band, which next spring, when you officially sign off your elective, will be titled Band 2, but it's our non-audition requiring band program. And then we also have advanced band. In a typical year, Miss Woodman, who is also here and is our wonderful band director, would go to all the feeder middle schools and have students audition. I'm not sure, and maybe she'll talk about what that process looks like this year, but you do have to audition for advanced band. It's not a particularly scary or daunting audition, but just something to prepare for mentally come March or April. In a typical year, no matter what group you're in, both bands perform at a range of performances. We have 4 formal concerts. If you've played band in middle school, you're probably pretty familiar with what that looks like. The band program also hosts and performs at an annual Sequoia Music Festival held in March. I think if you've attended North Star Central, you might be familiar with that. And then we also perform at a variety of more fun and informal school and community events, rallies, football games in the fall, and then community events like back to school night in a typical year. Now, obviously this year is different. We're not all playing our instruments on Zoom at once, but we're focusing more on individual growth and practice, looking at the music industry from a more academic lens, and then also experimenting with virtual performances where students record themselves individually, and those are then compiled into a few videos. If you look on YouTube at Sequoia High School Virtual Band or Jazz Band, you can check out a few of what we've been experimenting with these past few months. The band program is open to students in all 4 grades, which is one of the cool parts of you get to sit next to someone who maybe you're a freshman and they're going off to college next year. Typically, students, once they're in band, will stay in band. It's a fun, welcoming community, though obviously that's not a requirement. And then in addition to the 2 formal band classes we have 2 opportunities for supplemental band programs and classes. We have a jazz ensemble, which is a club that meets once a week at lunch in a typical year and performs at other community events. And then we also have a 20 or so person trombone choir. If you happen to play a low brass instrument, we meet once a week and perform just 15 or 20 trombones, which is something to listen to for sure.
That's great. Thank you, Andrew. At this time, too, I just want to take a second to introduce our band director, Jane Woodman. So she's here. She's just going to say hello and maybe a few words of welcome to you as well.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome aboard. And thank you so much, Andrew, for that perfect encapsulation of the band program. I will absolutely be on at the end if anyone has any questions, but I'm excited that you guys are here and happy to answer any questions I can at the end.
Great. Thank you very much. We'll continue on our next. So we're going to talk a little bit more about other music electives. I don't know, Andrew, are you continuing on that as well?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay, perfect. So other music electives, these are in addition to our beginning and advanced band classes, other things that you can take involved with music at Sequoia.
Exactly. Our next program is the orchestra program, something like 40 or 50 students each year. Typically, students will come in with experience. So if you've been playing in your middle school orchestra, you're more than welcome to continue at Sequoia. And this group also performs at a variety of concerts, community events like back to school night in a typical year, open to players with any range of experience. We also have a piano class, and this class is, for the most part, self-paced. Students will be on individual keyboards and going along with an online program that is suited to their interests and experience. So whether you've never played a keyboard in your life or you've done it for many years, piano is open to you. And because the fact that it's all self-paced, it's kind of based on whatever your interests and experiences are. And then similar to that, we also have a guitar class, which is also mostly self-paced. There's sheet music that it comes in a variety of experience levels. This class is mostly geared for beginners. So if you're interested in joining guitar or just picking up for a year, that class is perfect for you. And finally, I know we talked about the choir, another group. They perform at a variety of events, sometimes perform the national anthem at football games and other events and concerts at Sequoia as well.
That's great. Thank you so much, Andrew. We'll now move on to our next. Oh, I kind of cut him off. The last thing there. We do offer Trouble Crafts also as a small group, an all-girls a cappella choir as well. Okay, on to the dance program, one of the more popular programs on Sequoia's campus. And I believe that we have Anahita, who's going to talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first of all, just to let you guys know about, maybe you've heard of our performances, we have our dance show, which is every April. It's usually last year we chose to do, I mean, obviously we couldn't have performed, but it's a 3-day show for special events like the 50-year anniversary. We did a 3-day show event, and since it was really good and popular, we tried to do that again last spring. But instead of a dance show in our Carrington Hall, we had a virtual one, and that was really fun too. But basically advanced dance and intermediate dance, they present their workings from the whole entire year. So it's really great to showcase all of our dances. Yeah, so then we also have Dance Day, which is at lunch in May. It's a really fun day, basically. Lunch just shuts down and everybody goes to the quad and they all watch everybody dance. So that one's really fun. And then so we have we have several classes for dance. There's the intermediate 1 and 2. One is a audition required class where if you were taking PE dance the year before, Miss White would ask you to maybe audition for you, and she would put you in either intermediate 1 or 2. There's the advanced dance audition where there's 3 dances where you have across the floor, or you learn a dance combination the month before, and that one is also very fun. Many people audition too. This counts for visual art credits, and yes, I think that's it. The advanced dance class is pretty big, around 50 kids, and we have a couple understudies or people who also like get credit from being in that class. And again, PE dance is like normal PE, but instead of doing like the things that you would do for PE, like running around the track or learning how to play basketball or things like that, we focus on different types of dances and learning technique, or even some history. And we do, if you are a freshman in PE dance, you do run the mile, which is not very fun, but you have to get that credit also. But yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Anahita. And I know that dance is popular, so we'll be happy to field some questions about that as well. So again, that's the end of our formal presentation. When we do these presentations, the most important thing to us is to get you a little bit of information, but then just be available to answer questions that you might have. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the share here. And again, just open up the floor. We have Ms. Woodman, who's here to sort of give things from a teacher perspective, and all of our student experts. If you have a question, you can feel free to use the raise hand feature or just put something in the chat. I would be happy to process and manage those questions. And while we're kind of waiting for you to come up with any questions that you might have, can I just ask our students to give a little bit of feedback about what being part of the VPA program has meant to you? So whether that's performing in band or dancing or anything like that, just if I say if I talk about the VPA program at Sequoia, what is that experience like to you? So you've given us kind of the details, the facts, the information, but from a personal side, what do you have to say about it? Andrew, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. The band program has been great over these past 4 years for a variety of reasons. But I think one of the cool parts about any elective, band, orchestra, art, or whatever, is that you get to be in a class with students from all 4 grade levels, which is something that you just typically don't see in a math or an English or PE class. I remember my freshman year maybe being a little intimidated by the seniors for like 2 days, but of course they were nice and welcoming. And I remember thinking how cool it was to be sitting next to someone who was going off to college or who'd been in the exact same classes and doing the exact same projects that I was doing as a freshman. I think the Sequoia community overall is very welcoming and generous to students, but that's especially exemplified in the VPA classes where you get to be with students from all grade levels.
Perfect, thanks. Anahita, how about dance for you? What is that sort of meant? What is it meant in terms of relationships, friendships, anybody else kind of in your life? Just what role has dance played for you as a student?
Yeah, so actually being in advanced dance is so important to me because in 8th grade, I went to a school that like I did not have many friends who were at Sequoia, let alone in the dance program. So it was really hard for me to like try to put myself in there, especially because you do have to audition. And oh, Miss White is here too. But she's our lovely advanced dance and intermediate 1 and 2 teacher, and she also does PE dance with Miss Reebstein. But basically, I came in freshman year and I was in PE dance, and I didn't get to audition for advanced. And I just remember being just obsessed with their performances. And like, I had a couple of friends in advanced dance and I loved watching them. It was like my favorite thing. And even some friends in intermediate. And I auditioned with Kira for advanced dance, and we got in, and I was so excited. And I love being in advanced dance. Like, the people there are so kind and they'll always be helping you. Now I'm an upperclassman, so it's so weird that there's like freshmen who are kind of like in my same position that I was in. And if you are a dancer, or if you are in any sense like interested in any visual performing arts, definitely just like throw yourself out there, because you're not going to regret it, and it's very, very fun. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And as Anahita mentioned, we're also fortunate enough to be joined by Miss White as well, who is the head of our dance program. Miss White, are you there? Do you want to say a few words of welcome and maybe a few words about the program from your perspective?
Hi, just made it back. I also have a 9th grader, so we had to go pick up some stuff. So thank you guys for inviting me to be here, and thank you, Anahita, for speaking on behalf of our program. Sorry, I just had some dental work done, so I can't feel half of my face. So if it looks like I can't speak, because I can't. But thank you guys. So for the dance program, if you've never taken dance, you can just sign up and join in PE dance, and that's open to all. And we do have kids in PE dance who have taken years of dance, such as Anahita was as a freshman. And then we do auditions for intermediate and advanced dance. And advanced dance is a formal audition process, and intermediate's a little bit less formal. And all that information will go out to the middle schools in a few months, but you can always contact me at Sequoia with any questions regarding the dance program. But you don't have to have any experience.
Perfect, and I'm going to go ahead and put Miss White's email into
thank you.
As well. So if you have questions about dance, that's for her. Next, I was going to bounce back over to Miss Woodman to take on a question just about what do you think, Miss Woodman, the participating in either band or other just visual and performing arts in general, in what ways do you feel like that contributes to the concept of a well-rounded student, sort of a well-rounded student experience?
Yeah, I think that it's a really great opportunity to kind of hit a lot of layers of self, right? There's the actual learning of the music, but then there's learning all the context and history and things behind the music and the styles. And then there's also leadership that can be developed as you get older in the program, as you've seen exemplified here, to your section and supporting new students, and then kind of being an elder as a senior at the end. Sequoia Band also tries to give back to our community, both Sequoia and otherwise, doing things like Adopt a Family every year and volunteering at various gigs in the community. So it's a great way, I think, to build relationships, sort of have leadership growth and potential go on, and learn not just the dots and lines on the page, but also a lot of important things that kind of surround them.
Awesome, thank you so much. And then just to kind of flip that same question for a student response, Lucy, could you sort of answer that same question? In what ways do you think that the visual performing arts program or its experiences help to kind of round out that student experience?
I would just agree with Anahita. I think it's just definitely just giving me a sense of a community where I feel like I belong, and like I've definitely met a lot of other dancers through the dance program. I personally started out in intermediate, and that was super fun because like I was a freshman and I didn't really I got to meet like a ton of other dancers, and I just like formed a community for me, and I got to like grow and like learn more dances. So I think it just like allows you to grow as a dancer and to, like meet new people. And also just to touch note about like auditions is like, and dance is just go for it. Like it's such a welcoming community, and all the dancers are like so nice. Like personally, like I tried out like 3 times for advanced dance, so just like don't give up and like definitely join the program because it's super fun. And yeah, you get to meet like a lot of people and just like grow as a dancer. So yeah.
Perfect. I also want to flip it back to Miss Woodman really quick. Could you, Miss Woodman, talk about how this all figures into high school graduation requirements? what the way that VPA plugs in there? Do you have that information on hand?
I have the approximate information.
That's approximate is spectacular.
So in terms of graduation requirements, there is a graduation requirement that is, I believe, 1 year of a visual and performing arts. Yeah. So all of the visual and performing arts classes count for that, with the one exception of beginning dance that is counts for PE. So and also for like UC, A through G, all of that, there's performing and visual arts or visual art requirements as well. So in addition to having an awesome time and learning lots of stuff, you will also be making your way to fulfilling graduation requirements, and also what a lot of colleges are working towards or are looking for as well.
Perfect, thanks. There's a question that just was sent to me in the chat about how the dance program is functioning given the distance learning setup. Ms. White, did you want to talk just a little bit about what you guys are doing on that front?
Sure. Well, all the classes are being led from my kitchen, and we're still learning choreography. We have student choreography for advanced dance, and we are preparing for performances, whether they are going to be virtual or live performances. We just wrapped up a performance for intermediate for the homecoming rally, which is this week. So they learned the piece, they recorded on their own, and then we edited them together. And I'm sure Mr. U-Haul will make that video available to the public, hopefully in the next week, so 8th graders can also see it. And we're just hoping that we get to do a live performance, but if not, then we'll do the virtual performances, which is what we ended up doing for the dance show last year. So we did a Zoom performance.
Great, perfect. Kira, could you do me a favor and just talk about, as a student comes in as a 9th grader, what classes is it possible for them to take any of these classes as a 9th grader, or at what point do they start looking at these elective options? For you as a student, kind of what was that process like, and what's the sort of time frame on that?
Yeah, as a 9th grader, you can take a good amount of these classes. I took intermediate dance as a freshman. I tried out for advanced in 8th grade, and then I didn't make it, but I got into intermediate. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that, and it's a good experience. And then as you get older, you can work your way up into more advanced classes.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to bounce back over to Sammy as well, who's going to talk just a little bit. Sammy, could you talk to me about your experience in the visual arts program? So when we think about ceramics or drawing and painting or art, let us know which one of those or multiple ones you have experience with, and kind of what you like about that program.
So I took Art 1 as a freshman, and I really like the art class just because I can express myself through different forms of art, like through drawing or through painting, something like that. And I just like it because I can share it with others.
Excellent, thank you very much. So at this time, I've kind of exhausted my sort of set questions that I have. Is there anyone in the audience that has anything they'd like to ask of either our band teacher, our dance instructor, any of the students who are here as well? Are there any questions that we can take from the group? Okay, one last thing that I do get at a lot of these shadow days, Ms. White, could you talk about, do you have a plan for what, or at least a plan, hopefully, for what auditions are going to look like in the spring for incoming 9th graders next year? And then Ms. Woodman, I'm not sure if that applies to you as well, but we can check in with you as well.
Okay, for advanced dance, we have, if we're able to go live, we'll have a formal audition process in.
I think this is the band.
Pre-muted. Sorry, I guess someone's unmuted. But we have a formal audition process for advanced where students have to learn a piece that's contemporary dance, hip hop, and jazz. And then we have a formal audition process where they come in groups of 3 and they audition for a panel of judges. We did do some video. There's a video option as well if the schedule doesn't work out, but we do some open workshops during the afternoon where 8th graders can come in and practice with live instructors. And then we do an audition process usually on that Friday of the same week. Right now it's sometime around the end of February, March, but we're not setting the dates yet. But if we have to do it virtually, then we'll teach the dances virtually. We'll have Zoom probably rehearsal sessions and question and answer sessions, and then we'll either do a video submission or maybe a set Zoom slot where you'll come in with a couple other people and audition. And then for intermediate, there's usually one dance combination. I send that out to the student. They learn that on their own, and then they'll send a video back of that one routine and examples of their technique. And if they're not ready for intermediate or advanced, we have 2 intermediate classes, so they're 2 different levels. They can always sign up for PE dance as well.
Great, thank you. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. And then same question about band for auditions to Ms. Woodman. And then I'm also going to have her piggyback with the same response about, there was another question about IB art. So she's going to provide a little bit of insight there.
Okay, yes, I will do my best with IB art, but for band auditions, yes. So what we did in the spring, which was what I'll do again this spring if things stay the way they are, is I sent music and information to the middle school, the local middle school directors, and they gave that to their students. And then I had people send in audio or video clips with the audition music, and there was a deadline. I think there were 2 weeks or so, and then I got back to everybody at the end of the year. So I will do auditions virtually for advanced band, not live, just record it and send it in. If we are back in person in some form and it is possible to do in-person auditions, usually I go to Central and Kennedy, because those are the 2 largest feeder schools that usually have the most students audition. So it's very easy for me to go there and just we'll have a day and do them. And then I'm happy to make arrangements with students from other schools, either them coming to Sequoia or me going to their school if that works better. So, and my email, which I'll put in the chat, is jwoodman@seq.org. If you have any further questions, I'm going to have to log off in just a second. But in terms of IB art, what I do know is that it is an awesome 2-year class that does have that prereq of draw, paint, or art 1. And my understanding of the focus of IB art, as well as what I've seen from the amazing IB art show that is always super fun to go to at the end of the year, much like the dance show, is that students have a lot of choice in that class in terms of their sort of topic of inspiration that they're using in their art and the medium that they choose. So you go to the IB art show and there's one section where somebody just has paintings, and one where someone's doing sculpture, and one where there's kind of multimedia types of things. So it's a very, I think, reflective internal kind of class. A lot of the work, there's a big journal that's part of their IB official coursework that they actually, I think, submit pages of that to kind of show their process. And then a lot of choice in terms of what they want to kind of delve into and explore through the medium of their choice. So it's kind of the basic idea of the course, and I'm sure Mr. U-Halt can give emails of the couple of IB art teachers if people have more specific questions. I need to log off, but yay VPA, and thank y'all for coming. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Woodman.
Of course.
Okay, so if there are other questions, we can take them now. The last thing I wanted to do is just offer up the floor to our student speakers, and Ms. White is still here as well. Just any kind of closing words or closing messages to give to the group. Andrew, is there anything you'd like to say kind of in closing?
Yeah, sure. I'd say no matter whether you have experience in dance, then go for dance, or orchestra or band, go for that class. But I'd encourage you to all try out some elective, even if you don't have plans to do it in college or for even all your 4 years at Sequoia. It can't hurt. You have the opportunity in your schedule, even as a freshman, to take a 7th class, which can be any one of the electives that we talked about here. So go for it. You'll enjoy it for a year, and then you can decide what you want after that.
Perfect. Thanks. Anahita, anything else to add there in closing?
No, I totally agree. I just think you should experience whatever, and if you are slightly interested in something, you should definitely do it. There's also wanted to add that a part of dance, we do have dance team too, which is a club that's outside of advanced dance, which is also really fun. We get to perform at rallies, but do whatever you'd like. Even if you have no experience with it, it will definitely be worth it.
Perfect. Any other of our students want to add anything there in closing? Ms. White, anything that you'd like to say just in parting to the group?
Yes, and in regards to the arts, know that the high school education is free to you. So this is your chance to try out things that you might find interesting, because once you get to college, you have to pay for each class. So if you're like, hey, I think I really want to learn how to play guitar, sign up for the guitar class, because again, once you're outside of high school, that's all things you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And again, great teachers, great programs, really talented students who get to start the beginning and work their way up. And the shows are amazing, the art shows. Go check them out. They might be virtual this time, but definitely check them out.
Great, thank you so much. I think that's pretty much going to wrap things up for us. There was a question in the chat which I don't have the answer to right now, about whether or not students outside the Digital Arts Academy could take the video production course. I please encourage you to retain my contact information. I'm the one who has been sending you email reminders about these sessions. And if there's a question like that you have, as I say every week, I don't promise to have the answer, but I do promise to help you find the answer from whoever that might be. So that is our presentation on visual performing arts. I have been recording this and I'll be posting it on the Shadow page at the Sequoia website. If you missed either of our first two sessions on academies and athletics at Sequoia, you can visit that Shadow page to find those recordings. This one will go up there in the next day or two as well, and I'll be adding all the recordings that we plan to continue through the month of November. Next week, we've got another one coming up on IB and ICAP courses. We're excited to present that to you as well. Maybe we'll see you here. Thank you again for taking the time to join us today. Have a great day, everyone.